I stay in bed, I still got the feeling that you're next to me. Stuck in my head when lights go off. You're everything that I could ever want. Your touch so soft. Not looking for no heaven or gold, 'cause I got you. I got you. Don't wanna show us off, but you're my all that I need. Trying to sugarcoat, but I'm flying so high. I don't even know if I'm coming down. You rock my boat when you hold me so tight. The world just disappears in front of my eyes. I'm telling you why, this ain't no madness. The smoke in the mirrors are memories, now the sun's gone down. Like a river rushing way up above. This ain't no sugar-coated love. Everything that we've been through has made us strong. You won't believe we've had our gray, but somewhere there's a light inside of us. It shows the way. Not looking for no heaven or gold, 'cause I got you. I got you. Don't wanna show us off, but you're my all that I need. Trying to sugarcoat, but I'm flying so high. I don't even know if I'm coming down. You rock my boat when you hold me so tight. The world just disappears in front of my eyes. I'm telling you why, this ain't no madness. The smoke in the mirrors are memories, now the sun's gone down. Like a river rushing way up above. This ain't no sugar-coated love. This ain't no sugar-coated love. Love. I stay in bed, I still got the feeling that you're next to me. Stuck in my head when lights go off. You're everything that I could ever want. Your touch so soft. Not looking for no heaven or gold, 'cause I got you. I got you. Don't wanna show us off, but you're my all that I need. Trying to sugarcoat, but I'm flying so high. I don't even know if I'm coming down. You rock my boat when you hold me. The world just disappears in front of my eyes. I'm telling you why, this ain't no madness.
Hi, and welcome to Creator Fundamentals. My name is Dan Currier, and I am here to help you deliver your value through online video. Welcome, everybody, to our weekly live stream. For those of you who may be new to the live stream, we do this every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's an opportunity for all of us to get together as creators, ask questions, learn what's new on YouTube, and just generally hang out with like-minded people and actually be able to have a conversation about YouTube, because we all know that can be a little bit tough when we're talking to our family and friends and you just see them kind of glaze over and you know you're not making a connection there. So every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your opportunity to come and hang out with other creators who are all trying to do the same things that you're trying to do. Welcome, everybody. Once again, we're going to jump in the chat in just a moment. You know what? I have some big news. It's big news for me. It's something that's kind of been on my list of to-dos or wanting to-dos, and that is on January 30th at 7 p.m., which is going to be 2 hours before my normal live stream, which is going to go on. I'm going to be hosting the live stream on the TubeBuddy channel. So if you're not subscribed to the TubeBuddy channel, definitely subscribe and click the bell between now and January 30th so you can come and hang out with me on the TubeBuddy channel. Should be a good time. I believe those streams normally go about an hour, so we can hang out from 7 to 8 o'clock Eastern time on the TubeBuddy channel on January 30th, and then head over an hour later to Creator Fundamentals and hang out like we do here tonight. So a lot of people in the chat. Good to see everybody. Again, people who show up before the live stream even starts. You guys are awesome. A lot of familiar faces in there, as well as a couple new names. So let's just jump in there and say hello to everybody. We have SVG0X. Welcome to the live stream. The Mr. L. Grizbro Gaming. Let's see, is that, I'm not sure if that's, the 3 is supposed to, is it L3, La3, I'm not quite sure how that is supposed to be pronounced, whether the 3 is a B or what we got going on there. But I'll just call you L3. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you. We have Mine Bob out there as well. Satisfactory ASMR Life. Scrolling. Double letter Lady Oreo Time 1. Cipher Boy, JB the Pro, Zach, Adventure Ed, Dignity, West Coast Cajun Cuisine. Welcome to everybody. So glad that you could make it tonight. We have How to Build Credit TV out there, Hastings, BNSF, N-Scale Modeler. We have Dario. We'll stick with Dario so I don't mispronounce the rest of that. CC Uncut, Muggle Tom, Robin Loves Reading. And let's see, Audrey's Adventures, great to have you. Thanks for coming and hanging out with the stream. Doug Hewson out there as well, lurking more today, busy at work. Definitely don't want to pull you away from work, so pop in when you can. We have Ben out there, Ben Coombs. Car Galaxy Studio, how are you? Good to see you. One of our moderators. Video Zeus is out there. How's it going? Cool Geeks TNT. Shannon Vlogs, good to have you here. Unboxings by Bunny Mom. Connor Minix. Kevin Boston 7. Make sure the predictors out there as well. Dawn Leslie. Scrolling. Don't want to miss anybody. Always do the best I can to get everybody mentioned here in the beginning. I think we got Ron Globe out there. Regina's Hair Salon. Gavin Johnson. Hello, everybody. Hope you all are doing well. Hope YouTube is treating you well on this Wednesday here in about the halfway point here in January 2019. How has your 2019 gone so far? I got to tell you, I got a lot of interesting things going on for 2019. Really excited for all of them. And as more information comes in on them, I'll be able to share that information with you guys during our live streams. But some pretty cool stuff that's going to be coming up. This past weekend, I was able to travel to New York City and get together with some creators. We called it the New York City Video Mastermind Talk Shop. Learn what everybody was doing, what was working, what wasn't working. So great opportunity to be able to get together with other creators. I'm curious to know, have any of you guys gotten together with like a YouTuber meetup in your area? Definitely let me know in the chat where you're from and whether you've actually attended a YouTube meetup or a creator meetup where you've had the opportunity to hang out with other creators in person. We got some additional entries into the chat. I see Automoto Channel. I see Toy Smile, MZF. Harley's out there as well. Good to see you. Shanna Vlog says, definitely taking a break this month, 2009. I've been taking it easy so far. Good for you. It's always good to have a break every once in a while. And let's see, question, do you experience camera fright like stage fright, and what do you suggest for it? So camera fright is one of those things. First of all, I can't say if you know those, or maybe you were one in high school or in college, just the thought of having to get up and speak in front of somebody kind of made you sick to your stomach, and it was the last thing you wanted to do. You were hoping you were going to be sick that day. That was me in high school and college. I had absolutely no interest in being in front of anybody and giving a speech or talking to a large crowd of people. For me, the camera's a little bit different, even on the live stream. I know all you wonderful people are out there, but it feels a little more comfortable. The more you do it, you definitely become more comfortable at it. I think there's a little bit of hesitation and a little bit of fear when you first start doing something like a live stream, because you're like, what's going to happen if I get in front of the camera and I don't know what to talk about? But the more that you practice, the more you get in front of it, that mouth just keeps moving and it'll babble for hours. So it's just one of those things that the more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it, and you're not just sitting there going, so what's everybody up to? I took a walk today. It's just something that grows on you, I guess. In terms of stage fright in general, or camera fright when you're actually recording videos, the great thing about digital video and making videos on YouTube is you can let that camera roll and you can just do it. If it takes you 10 times to get it the way you want it, then do it 10 times. It's not like you have to pay for film or anything. You just edit all that stuff out. You keep the best ones. You edit, you take away all the stuff you don't want to show people, and then you just move forward from there. So I definitely would say that I don't have camera fright, and I think you kind of get to a point where, like, what's the worst that could happen? You don't know what to say in front of a camera. It's happened to everybody. You just try to do the best you can and come up with something interesting to say. I would say, if anything, it's a lot harder to actually, like, mingle with people and go up to strangers and have conversations with them without kind of a conversation starter or what to talk about. Events like Vid Summit that I've gone to, sometimes it's a little bit awkward you don't want to go up to somebody that you recognize or that you're a fan of or you follow or something without something intelligent to say. At the same time, you don't want to be fake and just make something up. Those particular interactions can kind of go either way. And sometimes when you approach somebody who's like uber successful, you feel like you're wasting their time, or you don't want to do that. But I think all of that just kind of comes, with the territory, and you eventually kind of learn ways to get through all of that. There's Sean Doris, who hosts the Vid Summit with Daryl Eves. He's basically had his one-step solution to social interactions and having to move from one person to the other person. And he said he would be talking to somebody and he would just look around and say, do I smell food, or where can I get some food, or something to that effect? And then he would move on to the next person with the idea that he was trying to encourage everybody to get a chance to talk to everybody else. But practice, I think, is the best solution for that. Unboxing. Hi, Dan from Maryland. Well, hello to you from upstate New York. I think we're on pace to get a pretty decent snowstorm. I don't know if I told you guys or if I've mentioned it on the live stream. In October, we got our first snowfall here in upstate New York, and my snowblower was kind of old, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go out and buy a brand new snowblower and, kind of look forward to the next snowfall. I'm going to be ready to go with this big old piece of machinery that is going to plow through that snow without any problem. That was in mid-October. It's now January, and it has not snowed since. So that's the lesson learned. It's kind of like washing your car and then it rains. You buy a snowblower and it never snows. But we're supposed to get some actual snowfall that's going to stick and some significant levels of snow this weekend. So we're going to see how all that goes. and hopefully I'll be able to use my snowblower for the first time. The Mr. L is TubeBuddy for free. You can absolutely download and use TubeBuddy for free. There is a free version. There are also some paid tiers. You can go to TubeBuddy.com/creator fundamentals. Actually, I'll make it even easier for you. I know I have a button here. There it is right there. The link that I just threw in the chat, which, did it go? Did it go? It looks like it should go, but I don't see it in there. Is that a live chat versus... Oh, there she is. All right, good. So yeah, just put a link in there. That'll get you TubeBuddy for free. I would definitely recommend download it, try the free version, understand what it can do for you, and then at some point in the future, if you're ready to kind of gain access to some additional features, there are some paid tiers that are have some pretty powerful stuff on them that you can do. Like when you get to the very top tier, there's things like A/B testing, which is super cool, where you can basically take 2 different thumbnails and TubeBuddy will automatically alter them every other day and give you the results in terms of which one resulted in more engagement from people who happen to see your video. So that's a really cool feature. That's at the top tier of TubeBuddy. But yeah, there are plenty of features. When I first started using TubeBuddy, I had the free version and took advantage of that when I just started growing this channel. Used to do all my thumbnails and everything right in the TubeBuddy app. So if you're just getting into custom thumbnails, you haven't even started custom thumbnails yet, the TubeBuddy app is a very good way to get into doing your own thumbnails and having some flexibility there and being able to actually design a thumbnail inline as you upload videos. All right, here. And I just want to scroll back here through the chat because I'm sure... I'll try to catch up here. Artie Franklin, I love Dan's videos. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Never been to a creator's hangout. Yeah, that's the part I wanted to get to. Car Galaxy Studio, did you hear the Daryl Eves news? You're going to have to tell me which Daryl Eves news. If you're talking about the news that he released, was it today, about the quote-unquote world tour that he's going on? Yes, I absolutely did. And I specifically had a conversation with him about coming to my neck of the woods. So if any of you live in the Northeast in the United States, or you're interested in traveling to the Northeast, make sure you pay attention because there just might be an event at some point this year in my neck of the woods, which is Albany, New York. So stay tuned for that. As soon as I have more specifics on that, I will certainly share it through all of my social media. And if you're not following me on the other social platforms, it's not a bad idea to do so if you guys want to be alerted to stuff like that. You can find me at Creator Fundamentals on Instagram. On Twitter, it's actually Creator Fundies, Fundies, because I realized that Creator Fundamentals doesn't fit or didn't fit at the time that there was... that I created that account because they didn't give you enough characters. So lesson learned, you know, you make mistakes. I'm also on Facebook, and I put the Facebook group on there. I'll throw the Facebook group in there as well. As we get closer to that, I'll definitely share that information as well. But there will be some type of meetup coming later this year in the Northeast, Albany, New York area. And if that's something you might be interested in getting in on, definitely stay tuned on that. All right, so let's see. And gonna blaze through here, make sure. Questions, quick question. How do you act more interesting in front of the camera? I think the getting in front of the camera, I mean, if I can give you any advice in terms of how to be more interesting, I think energy is a big factor because you almost have to amp it up a couple levels when you're on camera, because it's like the camera kind of takes some of that away in some regard. So if you don't hop on camera with some good energy, then you tend to look like tired and listless. And I've certainly had live streams that I've done where wasn't quite feeling it, or I wasn't like super amped up to do it, and it shows. It really shows in the playback. So you definitely want to work on just being high energy. I mean, unless you're doing some type of content that is in direct contrast to that, I think people feed off the energy, you know, whether that's maybe you need to down some Red Bull, I don't know, I'm drinking LaCroix grapefruit, which has no amping characteristics to it, but keeps me hydrated. All right, here. Scrolling. Keep that chat scrolling. Let's see. Kevin Boston, by the way, Dan, I just want to let you know I figured out OBS. Thank you. Can now record with it. Awesome. SVG0 living in the Philippines. Dizzy Lou from Manchester. Definitely taking. We caught that. Oh, hang on. All right. I think we're good there. Try to catch up with the chat here. Go back and see all the responses from the stuff I asked you before. Let's see. From Maryland, not meet up with any other YouTubers in person, but I've been running some ideas. Okay, cool. Good thing. So will this live stream help grow my channel? Ultimately, you got to be responsible for growing your channel. The idea that somebody else can grow your channel for you is really kind of missing the mark on how YouTube works. So if you go to somebody else with the intent that they're going to grow your channel, I think you'll find yourself disappointed more times than not, because it does take actual work to grow your channel. And you know, doing things like going into other chats and maybe having people subscribe to you or that stuff isn't really growing your channel. It's just artificially adding to your subscriber count, which doesn't really do anything. In fact, it actually hurts your channel. So I wouldn't do stuff like that. Car Galaxy Studio says Daryl Eves is planning on doing some Creator Hub traveling tour, sponsored tour. He wants to visit several cities. He's also promoting the Collab Space app for YouTubers. It's like a meetup app. Yep. That is what we touched on. And Car Galaxy is definitely clarifying that, which is good. I remember when I first met Nick, I was a little shy for sure. Yeah, I mean, and that's the way it goes. I think it's especially like me. I'm a little bit different in that regard, that I'm not really a huge fan of anybody, only because, especially in this industry, because I have very ambitious goals for what I'm trying to do. And I don't want to get caught up in that idea of kind of idolizing anybody. There's a lot of people I respect, and I try to respect their time. And in that regard, sometimes that plays the same way as kind of being shy around them, because if I don't have something of value to strike up a conversation about, I'm not just going to walk up to people and interrupt what they're doing. Just be like, hey, I can say that I met this person. But in that regard, I think that it kind of helps you to go in with the mindset that they are just people. Yes, they've had some success on the platform, but at the end of the day, we're all the same in that regard. So that's just something you kind of work through. All right, here, scrolling. Old Geezer Gaming in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for sharing on Twitter and hitting that thumbs up button. I see 43 people in the chat right now. If you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, I do appreciate it. Let me know that you were here. I see some additional names in there as well. Frozen Queen B. Channel just got monetized. How long does it take for me to get paid? And can you give me advice on AdSense? I'm about to sneeze. One of these days I'm going to do that. My eyes are just going to pop right out of my head. Just got monetized. Congratulations. That is a great milestone. How long does it take to get paid? So here's how monetization works. Monetization is linked to your AdSense account. So as you collect ad revenue, and I'm going to try not to shake my desk any more than I've already been shaking it. As you collect ad revenue, it gets pushed over to your AdSense account. The point at which you meet the minimum threshold on AdSense for a payout is when you can actually get paid. The minimum threshold on an AdSense account is $100. So once you accrue at least $100, basically that following month is when you're going to get your first payment. And that's how it works. Each time you reach that $100 threshold, that qualifies you for the next cycle when they do payments. If you're there, then you'll get your payout. What gets really nice is when you get above that, when you're making at least $100 a month, and then every time they get to their payment day, you get some money. So that is cool. And then you can have it, I believe you can have it sent via PayPal. I have mine that actually direct deposited into a bank account. But yeah, that's basically how the whole AdSense process works. And it's all going to be a function of how many views you're driving in terms of how much money you're making and what your niche is and what people are paying, you know, for CPMs and that sort of thing. And CPMs is basically cost per mil, which is, the price that an advertiser pays per 1,000 impressions. Or per 1,000 views rather. And then there is the RPM, which is revenue per mil, which is what you get paid for every 1,000 views. All right. Satisfactory ASMR live from Bronx, New York, right down the state from me. About 2.5 hours from here down to the city, and I was just there this weekend. All right, let's catch up here. Ron Globe, near Buffalo, very little snow in the north. That's a very weird statement to say, near Buffalo and very little snow. It's kind of an oxymoron because Buffalo tends to always be buried in snow. All right, and we're scrolling. Okay. Chris Conkle Vlogs. Tomorrow is your 1-year anniversary. Congrats, Chris. Great to see that you are going strong here after a year. It's amazing what you can accomplish on YouTube in a year when you're focused and on growing and improving. And Chris has been a good example of that. Citizen, do you think the subscribe button or the join button is better? I don't know what the join button is, so give me some clarification on what you mean by that. Why does TubeBuddy ask to control videos? I believe the ability to control videos is necessary for the edits that TubeBuddy can do for you. TubeBuddy has mass replace tools, so if you want to like add a link or a block of text to all your videos, you can actually do a bulk update to them. And in order to do that, you're required to have edit functionality. And I believe it's just that having that edit functionality is the message to get that says that they can delete your videos, but they don't delete your videos. It's not. I think that's just how the wording of the permission, because technically if you're able to edit a video, you're able to get rid of a video, but they give you functionality that allows you to mass update things. You can add cards across all your videos. You can make changes to your description, all kinds of things. Your end screens can all be done in mass. Using their bulk upload tool. So that would be my understanding of why they have that ability to control your videos. Trying to catch up on text here, or on the chat here. I really don't know what to say here right now. Just hang out and listen. Daniel, what do you do to stay engaging on a video? We jumped on that earlier. PayPal rather than with YouTube. 100% goes to channel user. Do PayPal rather than with YouTube, 100% goes to channel user. I mean, that's all going to depend on how you're set up. At the end of the day, you know, there's some value in overhead that for services that get provided to you. So it's kind of a trade-off in that regard. All right. What is... Kevin Boston, what is the 15-minute free call on your website? What do you discuss? I imagine it's not a detailed conversation. The 15-minute call on my website, for those of you who haven't seen it, the idea behind that is to have a conversation regarding what you're looking to do, how you're looking to grow, to determine whether scheduling a paid consultation call is right for you. So we'll basically, I offer a 30-minute call where we can kind of do a deep dive one-on-one with your channel, take a look at stuff, help you with strategy, and do those sorts of things. I also offer a 60-minute call, and the 15-minute is just an opportunity to talk face-to-face, give you an idea of what we might be able to do for you and your channel, and then go from there. So it's not like a fit as much information about how to fix your channel in 15 minutes. It's just to have a conversation about what you're looking for and whether both of us think it's the right path for you based on where you are in your YouTube journey to take that next step and do the consulting call. So that's what you get with the 15 minutes. Just that opportunity to kind of look at your particular situation and see if it makes sense to do something like that. Robin loves reading. 4-month anniversary, almost 400 for BookTube. I am content. Congratulations on that. Those sound like some good progress. Join button is the membership button for YouTube. Oh, okay. So that's another cool thing. And I don't know if I actually might be making a video about that, but I recently discovered, and I did not know this, that they moved the membership functionality on YouTube from 50,000 down to 30,000. So we're closing in. We're like closing in on 22,000 subscribers. So I'll probably qualify for the membership functionality on YouTube later this year. If and when that happens, I'm going to shut down the Patreon account altogether. And then just rely on the actual membership here on YouTube and be able to give you guys some cool little perks associated with membership. So as soon as that becomes available, I'll certainly let you guys know all about it. And I just realized that screen looks kind of funky. I might want to fix that. Let's see here. Let me make that look a little better. Let's try this. We'll do that. And some of this. The beauty of, let's see here. Of OBS is that you can actually do tweaks on the fly. I don't know, it just looks funky to me at the moment. Like it's not quite where it should be. But you can do that and then just do that, and as soon as you guys catch up there on the delay, which should be right now because you can hear my voice, you'll notice a slight tweak in how that's displayed. But in any event, let's see. Do I keep backtracking, or does people keep asking that same question? Yeah, okay. Don't need to ask. I think I covered the question about engaging on a video. And I see it's in there quite a few times, so, or at least twice, and twice is plenty. All right, so now, and it's very difficult when I'm trying to keep track of where we are. Let's see. Got that. Scroll. Let's see. Channel's growing slowly. Gave me some advice, which. Okay, awesome. Sure Productions, Article 13. Should we be worried? I'm really curious to see how Article 13 plays out. What I saw, or at least my take on that whole Article 13 conversation, is scare tactics, or attempting scare tactics from both sides, or very strongly the idea that it's the end of the world kind of thing, especially where YouTube's concerned and the kind of information they were putting out, which I get because for YouTube it could potentially be more costly for them. But the idea that YouTube was just going to drop Europe seems very unrealistic to me. So I think only time will tell. There's been a lot of cases like that where it was doom and gloom. I know with the net neutrality thing, people kind of lost their minds and said it was the end of the internet as we know it, and so far that hasn't been the case. Not to say bad things can't happen, but I try not to get stressed out about things twice. So once we understand the real implications and what it's, what it means for everybody, then we'll be able to have some opinions one way or the other. But I can see what people's concerns were, and I can see trying to read between the lines why certain people are selling it the way they are. But until we see it actually unfold, I'm curious how that'll actually truly affect everybody. All right, Streamlabs, you can set up PayPal and get most of the revenue. Super Chats take 30% of it, and you keep 70%. Dan has Streamlabs and accepts donations through that as well. Yeah, I mean, if you prefer that, there is links in the descriptions of all my videos and live streams. I think it's towards the bottom. You can actually go and do Streamlabs directly if you want. The only challenge with Streamlabs, because I don't deal in it a lot, and I guess I could turn that on, is I don't think there's any visual notification on my live streams for Streamlabs donations. So if you're trying to do that for like channel review priority or anything like that, it's best to just let me know. All right. Sensational Life, welcome to the live stream. Great to see you. Hope all is well with you. Toy Smile from UK. Car Galaxy with the Streamlabs link. Thank you for that. Kevin Boston, what would you say is the best audio setting without an external mic? I was testing it this morning. As I mentioned earlier, in audio was kind of low. Best audio settings without an external mic. I guess that would depend on which audio settings you're looking at. I'm assuming you're talking about OBS, but you have a completely separate interface for your desktop audio, and you just want to make sure that the volume control on that is set appropriately so you can hear it good. Law enforcement explains, if you have copyrighted material on a video, do you still keep the watch time accumulated? I know you can have it monetized. So copyright doesn't affect watch time, but in terms of monetizing somebody else's copyrighted material, you can run into issues with that, of course. So I mean, that could certainly lead to them requesting that the entire video be taken down based on what type of content that you're using from somebody else. And I guess in that regard, it could affect your watch time if you lose the whole video. You just want to make sure whenever possible to get, or when you can, to get permission to use other people's content. Because as much as people like to claim fair use on stuff, the reality is if somebody doesn't agree that it's fair use, you're ultimately going to end up in court trying to prove it one way or the other, and that can get expensive. Or you'll end up in court if you want to prove that you have the right to use it through fair use. Sayad Sultan, belly dance artist. Hello, Creative Fundamentals. I'm trying to learn more about growing a YouTube channel. Well, hopefully you've come to the right place. There's about 250 videos or so here on the channel that I hope will help you do just that. If you're looking to ask questions above and beyond that, you can join the Facebook group. I'll throw a link in the chat to that as well. And definitely watch as much content as you can, whether it's this channel or other channels. There's a lot of great places to get information, and it's all really valuable to help you understand how everything works and how to grow. All right. Robin loves reading. People still doing okay with phone or iPad for channel? Absolutely, you can run a channel on an iPad or a phone for sure. I did the first 100 videos on this channel with just my phone, so it can definitely be done. And I know channels that have been very successful doing it that way. I think Nick Nimmin did a video with a creator in Thailand who actually grew her channel to 1 million subscribers on a phone. So it can definitely be done. Gavin Johnson, what camera do you use? If you are talking to me, I use, for these live streams, I'm using a Logitech C920. And that gets fed into OBS. So that's how I do these live streams. I have the ability to do live streams with my DSLR also, but I found, generally speaking, it's more of a pain in the butt to set up my DSLR for live streams and then move it for my standard videos. So I've just been set up with the Logitech, and it does pretty decent quality, I think, after you learn how to tweak the settings. Creative Fundamentals, can you live stream using YT Gaming on iOS? I would imagine you can. I'm not sure is there a specific YouTube app? I mean, I know there's YouTube Gaming, but is there a separate YouTube Gaming app? I'm actually not familiar with whether that's the case. You can definitely live stream via mobile. I don't know if you're looking to like screen share or do anything like that, whether that functionality is available. But if anybody in the chat knows, definitely let the Mr. L know. All right, here. Catching up here. Screen notifications. Sad. I think I'm almost caught up here. Almost caught up. There we go. How would you get cost? Hey, how much would you get cost for to get more on YouTube page Shadowboxing Society? I'm not quite sure what you're asking there. If you can clarify that for me, I can try to answer that, but I don't know what Shadowboxing Society is or what we're trying to accomplish there. Elite Jamaica official channel, thanks for coming and hanging out. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you in the chat. 28,000 subs using a phone, so absolutely it can be done. Sensational Life, Logitech is great. Been using it since I started. And there's a couple different versions of the Logitech. There is the C922, which I think is the newer version, but I found the C920 does everything I need it to do. There is the Logitech, I believe it's the Brio that does 4K video, but you can get the C920 now for about $50. So if you're looking for a decent HD quality live stream, you can definitely go the route of a cheaper webcam like the C920. I actually have it on my plate or on my list of videos to do a how to live stream with the Logitech C920 and OBS. I want to do a video on that. Just haven't actually got there yet. So Kevin Boston says, how much damage does the Screen Boss do for $5? So for one thing, for those of you who may be new to the live stream, in the lower right-hand corner, we have what is called the Stream Boss. Basically, it is a little game we play during the live stream where the Stream Boss has 100 health points, and I believe we have it set up for 20 points of damage for every $1 of Super Chat. So in theory, $5 would take out a Stream Boss that was on full health. I think that's how we have it set up. I think we previously did 10 points, and now we bumped it up to 20. So a $5 Super Chat would, in fact, knock out Mo Nation, who is currently the current Stream Boss, and replace it with your name and channel. So as I was saying, whoever it is that donates Super Chat that does enough damage to the health points of the current Stream Boss, pops them, knocks them out off the hill, off the screen, and then your channel gets to be displayed there, in addition to the highlighted comment and stuff that normally happens when you do Super Chat during a stream. And of course, we also have the notification box above the Stream Boss, which keeps you up there to identify you as either a donator or having subscribed to the channel. So you get 3 different ways to get a little attention for your channel. And then once you are Stream Boss, you'll stay in that position until somebody else super chats you out of there. Chris Conkle Vlog says Brio is way overpriced. That's kind of how I felt about the Brio. I didn't feel like it really offered a whole lot of upgrade. And I think the C922, I think the big difference is that it offers like dropping your background, some kind of thing there. So I think that is that's its claim to fame, but that's not something that I would typically use anyway. So thank you so much to Kevin Boston 7. Yo, Dan, I'm now broke, but you're an awesome man. Does this get me a shout out? Absolutely, Kevin. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Oh, and let's, in what? Oh, you know what? Because it's, wow. I wonder how I can make that change. The conversion on the Canadian left Mo Nation with 2 health points. Here, let's see. Can I do... So yes, $5 US would have taken off all those points, but that should have been. Now I got to look at the Stream Boss and see how it's actually set up, because I'm pretty sure. Hang on here. We're gonna look and allow. Stream Boss, where are you? So basically, Stream Boss is a Streamlabs widget that you can actually use with the regular version of OBS. They have Streamlabs OBS, which has a lot of that stuff like built into it. They came out with that after the fact, but they've always had the little add-ons that you can put on the regular version of OBS. And now I'm trying to. There it is. And did they change it now? See, oh, there you go. Widgets, and Stream Boss. I don't need an introduction. I just want to see what the settings are. Settings. So it would have been at $5 would have been 50. All right, so I feel like these totally have been reset on me, because I know the Super Chat dollars were set to more than the subscriber, but right now it's telling me that subscribers are 10 and each Super Chat dollar is 10. So $5 US would have done 50 points of damage, but I guess it was the conversion, the Canadian conversion, that brought you just shy of the Stream Boss. So in lieu of the stream boss, again, Kevin Boston 7, thank you so much for that super chat. If you guys have never checked out Kevin Boston on Instagram, definitely go check him out as well. He has developed quite a big following over there. So, okay to update a thumbnail after you upload the video that's been up for a couple days. Yes, you can change your thumbnail without affecting the algorithm or hurting your video's views or anything like that. Let's see here. Catch back up. Oh, is this, let's see. Kevin Boston, damn it, my nationality killed me. Sorry, man. If there was a way for me to drop those 2 points off and pop you up there, I would certainly do it. But I think if I try to, it's going to put me as the stream boss. Yeah, I try to get to everybody's chat, and that usually puts me a little bit behind the conversation. So I apologize for that, but I try not to miss anybody. Let's see. Somebody's asking about channel reviews. I usually don't start channel reviews before 10 o'clock, so we'll probably get to those in about 15 minutes. All right, here. Let's catch up. Launchpad Astronomy, how's it going? Welcome to the live stream. The Ripe Ruin out there as well. And there it is, Said Sultan Belly Dancer, which I saw you in the chat. What was it? Is it, what's that whole name? In any event, they just subscribed to the channel, and that put them as the stream boss. All right. You know, if I ever get to talk to a YouTube employee directly, it's going to be all about making the chat easier to scroll through. Mr. L, really appreciate you answering both my questions. No problem. Doug Houston says Super Chat is by card, i.e. credit card or debit card, I believe. All right. And Kevin Boston says next time I'll pay $6. Streamlab. The Streamlabs process takes PayPal. DC Scrappin' Rooster, late to the party, but great to have you here. Any tips on what to say in a channel name change update video because I am changing my channel name? I would say you don't necessarily need to do a dedicated video for that. But if you think that is warranted by your audience, you can certainly do that as well. But if you wanted to do a video specific to that, I would just explain why you've chosen to change your name. All right, so I see Car Galaxy Studio saying good question, and now I got to scroll back up and see what the good question was. Can you change channel description without hurting the algorithm? So, here's my general rule on that. Changes can absolutely kind of reset and get YouTube to look at a video again. There are definitely people who believe that you should absolutely not make changes like that. What's difficult to tell is if you are if you're getting a certain level of traffic and you continue to get a certain level of traffic, does that definitely tell you that it didn't affect it, or did you stunt it in some way so it takes longer to grow? I have done mass replaces on like hashtags and things and not seen any noticeable interruption, but I would try to avoid the core information or the keyword related information on any video that's doing well. I wouldn't touch a video that's doing well. If you have a video that's dead in the water and you want to make changes, you can certainly do that. But I know channels with bigger videos and things, they avoid making changes to the description and title like the plague when a video is doing well. So like I've made it, you know, like changes to significant parts of a video, and I have watched them fall out of ranking and then slowly work their way back in. So it can have an effect. But in terms of, I don't know that it would necessarily kill a video forever. I guess it has to do with whether it's evergreen content, something that's going to continue to get views, or if it's something that's just going to be, you know, more based on your audience's initial push and then kind of die out. You might not want to mess with those types of videos. Channel description? Are you talking about the about section, or are you talking about channel keywords? What do you mean by channel description? Because there is no, if you're talking about like changing the information in your about section, I would say if it doesn't accurately represent the information on your channel, then change it. Otherwise, there would be no need to. But no, I don't think you're going to have any significant changes to how your channel performs based on your channel description. I mean, they may use that information a little bit in terms of understanding what your channel's about, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it weighs that highly on the overall success of your channel. Shannon Vlogs would love to hear about creating a content strategy. Might be more of a video idea than something to discuss now, but I'm interested in developing one. I actually did put out a video a couple videos ago about content strategy. I don't know if it would apply in your particular situation, but if you haven't seen that video, definitely take a look at it. Let's see here. Oh, this chat is so painful to scroll through. Craze Performance Repair, thanks for the review last week. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. I do love the Car Galaxy. He's like, no, I was talking about channel description. Or Modeler was. It's so hard to you know, get the attention when the person on live stream is just rambling about a topic. Savage Scientist out there as well. Good to see you. So here's why your channel description is important. Not so much that it's going to sway the overall performance of your channel, but anytime your channel gets shared, like on social media and other places outside of YouTube, the description you will usually get previewed along with it. So in that regard, yes, it's important to have a channel description that accurately relates to what your channel's about. My philosophy on that is always lead with your headline. A lot of people like to go into their backstory and why they're making videos and, you know, what their name is and whether they have kids or pets or all that good stuff. And that can all be helpful information and allowing people to get to know you. But I would always start out my description getting straight to the point of the type of content people should expect on your channel. That should be your headline. That should be the first thing in your description, and then you can go on and look at some or add some additional information on that. So yeah, if you don't have one, if it's inaccurate, if it doesn't communicate what your channel's about, definitely fix that. Mind Bob, does YouTube promote new videos more than old videos? I don't necessarily believe that they go out of their way to do one versus the other. It's all about videos that people want to see. So I don't think that it is simply because, I mean, there's some aspects where a brand new video might get promoted because it's within its initial push, and those tend to show up a little bit more until YouTube kind of gets a sense of how people are responding to them. Whereas an older video is going to be out there for a while. YouTube already has an idea of what it's all about and who might like it. But what they'll typically do is, sometimes with videos that are evergreen content, as they sit out there and they accumulate a watch time, they'll sometimes reach what appears to be some type of threshold and start to get promoted a little bit more to people. And then depending on how those expanded audience responds, that could lead to those older videos growing. So now, I wouldn't particularly worry about the age of a video as much as focusing on making better content, or continuing to try to improve on your content with each upload. But there is also benefit to continually making content. You don't just want to take make a bunch of content and then stop. Justin Bennett, would you suggest using the channel custom URL? Absolutely. As soon as you reach 100 subscribers, you are eligible to create a custom URL. Take your time and plan that name. Obviously, you want it to coincide with the channel name, and preferably you'd want to choose something that you can also secure on other social media platforms, so you can actually get the handle. So it's YouTube / whatever it is. In my case, it's youtube.com/creative fundamentals. On Instagram, it's instagram.com/creative fundamentals. On Facebook, same thing. So try to put a little thought into it before you create yourself a custom URL. Make sure that it's going to be something that continues to be relevant for your channel. Same here, Dan. I have free time, no longer work for EA. I got fired for leaking a game. Oh, no. First rule of leaking a game. Don't get caught leaking a game. Titanfalls 3. All right. Yeah, Doug's talking about the badge on a new video in the first few days, and that falls in line with that a little enhanced viewership in the initial release of a video. Citizen Z TV, do you think Patreon is a good idea? I think that's going to depend on each individual user. Me personally, I'm probably going to move away from Patreon. Hey, let's play RC. Welcome to the live stream. I'm probably going to lose Patreon when YouTube memberships become available for a variety of reasons. One of the simplest being that it's all integrated now, being on YouTube rather than trying to work with the multiple different platforms. West Coast Cajun Cuisine, do you use the Boost Your Post feature on Facebook, push your videos out, and if so, how do you feel about it? I have never used the Boost feature to promote a YouTube video. I have played around with the what I would normally do is I would take one of my videos from YouTube, I would download it, upload it as native content to my brand page on Facebook, and post it on that page, and then test boosting that post just to bring brand awareness to my channel, but never, I would never post a link to a YouTube video on Facebook and then try to promote that particular boost. I don't want to spend money to grow the channel, because I generally feel like that is creating a lower quality audience. My general feeling on paid promotion is if you're trying to grow, don't spend money for that purpose. If you have a particular video that's designed to drive the sale of a product, then you can promote that video and pay to promote that video because you have an end game in sight. You're putting out money with the idea that you're going to bring in more money that you're paying. So if you've created a video that is kind of like a sales magnet for a particular product or service that you're offering, I would certainly learn how to promote that video to kind of get people in your funnel and drive them to purchase your product or service. But I wouldn't spend money on ads for the purpose of growth. My mic is all up in my face. All right, let's see here. Let's come on. Hastings BNSF and Scale Modeler. Is there a negative impact for changing channel name? Other than making your audience familiar with the change? No, not really. I think you have an opportunity to make potentially make your name a little shorter and a little bit easier for people to share. You definitely, whenever the opportunity presents itself, you want branding that people can talk about and share with other people and easily share on social media. You know, if somebody goes, hey, oh, I saw a cool video, you have to go over to PewDiePie's channel and check it out. Versus, hey, I saw a cool video, you have to go over to Hastings BNSFFSN Scale Modeler. You know, it's a little more clunky that way. So when you are considering, you know, changing your channel name and stuff, try to consider doing something that's a little bit easier for people to share via word of mouth, or just generally recall and know how to spell. You know, so you want to avoid words that are a little bit ambiguous. You know, like if you were doing like you know, something that had the word and in it, even that could be, you know, ampersand versus the actual word and, etc. Sometimes those little things can make it hard for people to find your channel. You definitely want to have a channel name that is unique in the sense that if somebody types it into YouTube, they only find your channel. I see a lot of people who come up with a name that's either too common, or they use like their personal name and their name's like John Smith, and you type that in and good luck ever finding the John Smith that you actually want to find. So you want to keep all that stuff in mind when you're trying to kind of build your branding and focus on, you know, branding that people can actually find and be able to associate with you and your content. So yeah, and I see the conversation about Patreon and their recent controversy with their decision to remove some channels, and I know everybody has mixed feelings about that. That is a topic that has definitely played into my decision to look for another option. But I don't heavily use it to begin with, so you know, phasing it out here later in the year when we get to 30,000 subscribers. And who knows, maybe they'll lower it to even lower than 30,000 subscribers to get the YouTube memberships. But the YouTube memberships, from my understanding, it's like a fixed $4.99 per membership, whereas people could commit to different dollar amounts on Patreon. But I think $5 a month is a nice, reasonable setup for people who want to support a creator, and it gives you some options to integrate some actual additional benefits for them. So that should be cool. And I'm really curious to see how the custom, you get little custom emojis that people create for their particular group, and I'm curious to see how all that works. Yeah, Chris, and I almost deleted Patreon. I am going to get rid of, also going to get rid of Discord. As much as Discord is an interesting idea, I think a lot of the Discords that I've seen out there have just proven so toxic. I know I was getting alerts earlier this week that somebody was spamming one of the groups in my Discord, and I know some of the other Discords have gotten like the Wild West. So I will be deleting the Discord and doing away with that altogether. So. So Chris Conkle Vlogs, my name was Chris Conkle Vlogs for the first 10 months. I changed it to add the spaces in and have been growing more since. Not sure if it has anything to do with it. The one question I would ask on that is when people typed in Chris Conkle Vlogs with spaces, were they able to find your channel before, based on how you had it named previously? Because that could certainly impact their ability to find you and help you grow. Well, Car Galaxy, I don't see why they can't lower the membership requirements for YouTube. And I mean, to their benefit, they actually have been. I believe it was like 100,000 subscribers, and then they dropped it to 50, and then they recently dropped it to 30. So they are working on it. I think they just can't open it all up at once because they have to make sure that the infrastructure can handle. Obviously, the more they lower it, the more exponential members or users they're going to have in that system, so they have to make sure it can support it. So I think they use that stepped approach to make sure they don't bombard that particular feature with, you know, a ton of new creators and break something. One of your emojis should be an epic beard. I will see if that's possible. Yeah, Discord just proved to be a little more just not really worth the effort. Citizens ETV, do you believe people doing fake stuff on YouTube are getting more subs than anyone else? I think you'll find that, especially with some recent clarifications that YouTube made, they're going to start. They're slowly working through a variety of content that they are cracking down on. They just recently kind of reemphasized their position on pranks that are potentially harmful. And those can now get your channel shut down completely. It'll get community strikes and shut your channel down. So I think as we continue forward, YouTube is going to make an effort to crack down on questionable content. You know, people who are just straight up uploading other people's content. There was actually a channel that I saw in the chat earlier that looked like it was literally just random videos uploaded from other channels. Chris Conco Vlog says his Discord blew up. It's my biggest platform outside of YouTube. So in that case, that's awesome, because the problem with having too many platforms or something like that that you can't monitor, if you're in there and you're active, or your audience is constantly in there engaging with each other, then by all means keep it. I know a ton of people use Discord, especially in the gaming industry, and I know like people actually use, I think, the Discord audio feature to talk to each other in game. So it definitely has value. It just hasn't really worked out for me and what I'm trying to do. So not trying to disparage Discord in any way. Just for me personally, it's not worth the effort there. All right, it's after 10 o'clock. I think it's time that we do some channel reviews. So if you would like your channel reviewed, you want to go ahead and tag Creator Fundamentals. It also lists your channel name. I don't know, not going to do a ton of channel reviews tonight, but I'll try to grab some. I apologize in advance if I don't get to yours. If you do want to bump to the top, to the head of the list, you can do that with Super Chat. But we'll try to get to what we can here tonight. So let me prep for that, and you guys can request those in the list. Saw you a couple times there, Kevin. We will take a look at keywords on your video when we do this here. Come on. Close that. Refresh that. All right. Let's see what else we have here. This over here. Ooh, that ain't right. All right. Let's make that look better. Good. All right, we're getting there. Probably makes sense if we do that. All right, I think that, let's see, resize that a little bit. All right, I think that's pretty good. West Coast Cajun Cuisine, thank you so much for the super chat. I am definitely going to get you in the mix there. All right, cool. And, all right. All right, I'm gonna pop that one there because that'll be a quick thing. All right. All right, these are coming up slow today. Let's see here. Come on. There we go. All right. Let's see. Compiling my list here. Let's. Okay, and all right. Almost there. These are just coming up slow tonight. I don't know why. Okay, so this one was a... Perfect. Okay, so we'll do that. So yeah, I have a couple specific requests. I'm probably going to pop those up to the front just because they're going to be super quick, and then we'll... it'll be good to do it that way, because they'll be really quick. All right. Thank you for that car, Galaxy. All right, cool. All right, so I think I got a good list here. We're going to try to motor through these, make sure everything looks good over there. Let's see here. We do that. Kind of slide this over. I think that should be good. All right. All right, so we're going to rock and roll here. Try to get through as many of you guys as we can tonight. So first up, this was a quick request to take a look at the channel art. I just have to say, Let's Play RC, you guys have made so much progress since I first started seeing your channel and you guys in the live stream. I love the new logo. I love what you're doing with your channel art. It's much more organized and easy to read and really get your message across. Everything has good contrast. It's on an appropriate background. It gives everybody an idea of what you are making your channel about, and it looks like it's going to display nicely on mobile. So yeah, overall, that is 1,000 times improvement over where you started, and I know you've done this, revisions on that numerous times. So keep up the good work, because that is by far your strongest channel art yet. All right, so this next request was just a request to look at thumbnails, so we're going to jump in this real quick because I think we can kind of take a look here. It looks like you are in your videos, you're part of the branding. I can see based on your icon here and up in your actual channel art. I'm assuming that is you in all of this. I see that you are including yourself in the thumbnails for branding. Here's what I would say. I would probably go a couple things. Way too much text on this one, and it's way too small. So I would find a way to communicate what's going on here a little bit better in your image and less with words, because whatever's up there you can't read. This is way too small. It's good that you have this outlined there for contrast purposes. Well, what I was going to say on your branding, rather than doing these different facial expressions, which are basically your entire upper torso, I would get much closer to your face so you can see your facial expression while also identifying you as the branding aspect of your thumbnails. But you're definitely heading in the right direction and including yourself here. And I think if you find a good headshot or try to get it cropped in, just shoulders and head in your thumbnails, that'll go a long way in helping to identify your brand. You want to make sure that people can see your eyes, that you're looking at the camera, see that facial expression. That's going to help to get people to click, and it's also going to help with your branding. So definitely see the direction that you're going in, and you are using the photos to help tell the story, which is awesome. And I think, try to come up with a consistent text. Like I like the text up here. It's nice and easy to read. Stay true to that particular type of font, because that can also be a strong part of your branding to let people know that they are, in fact, your thumbnail. So that's what I would recommend in that regard. All right. And next up, we are going to take a look at West Coast Cajun cuisine, the channel that makes me hungry every time I look at it. So, from a branding perspective, you're definitely locking it down here. You have you in the channel art. You have your logo identifying West Coast Cajun cuisine there. Cajun and comfort food. You're using consistent a font choice up here. You are also, looks like you are well within the mobile version. And then just looking down at this first page, this is kind of what people want to see when they come and they check out a channel. It just immediately speaks that this channel knows what it's doing, because there is the cohesiveness of your branding from your channel art all the way down to your thumbnails. You can tell that all these things go together. And that's kind of what we're trying to portray when we're talking about building a brand. You want people to come here and go, hey, this must be a good channel, because they know what they're doing, and it's just not a bunch of random stuff scattered on a page. The one thing I will say, as you continue to put up more content, you definitely want to get some more Playlists, single playlists here. I prefer to replace the uploads with a, something that's custom that actually includes your channel name in it. Like latest recipes from West Coast Cajun cuisine, so it could potentially show up in search. Plus, it's just a little more customized and gives a little bit better sense of the uniqueness of your channel. And I know you are relatively new and you're working through this. I like the color choices that you've used. You might even be able to. Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, these are pretty good. You might even be able to get a little bit closer to the food itself, but can't really complain about the way you've done these thus far. But you should play around maybe with the idea of going. You don't necessarily need to have the name of the dish on your thumbnails, so I would play around with a larger image of the food and see how that looks, and maybe if it's just like a black bar or something, or a black circle with the emblem in it in the corner to identify your branding, while having a much closer look at the food. Just something to play around with. Nothing wrong with the way that you have it. And you may be able to pull people in based on the name, but because we're dealing with people scrolling through, you really want to capture their attention as quickly as possible. And when you're using, some of the real estate on your thumbnail to basically recap what you're already seeing in the title, you just need to think, consider whether or not that's a missed opportunity to better use that space rather than the redundancy of kind of repeating what you got going on in the title itself. About section. Yeah, I think all of this will fit. I mean, you get to the point within the allowable characters. I feel like you might be able to there might be a little improvement there to get straight to what they're going to get on the channel a little bit sooner. Because I feel like this is where we actually identify what people should expect. And I'm just curious about whether or not there's an opportunity to get to that point sooner and then give some information. But generally speaking, I think this is all going to fit, so that works in that regard. And then, yeah, as you continue to make videos, just get them all laid out with those, so people can see what you have going on here on your main homepage. So far, so good. You're doing well, and you got it all organized, and people are going to come to that channel and identify it as, a channel that knows what it's doing. All right, here. Somebody asked about copyright issues with the Saints logo. I don't think that's actually the Saints logo. It's the... let me see if I can pronounce this right. Is it fleur-de-lis? Fleur-de-lis. It's very similar to like the icon that they use in a bunch of different stuff, actually. And there's different versions of it. Which, for you trivia buffs, is a stylized lily. Sometimes you just got to look this stuff up. All right. Okay. Let's see what we got next here. All right, so this next one was just to look at some keywords on a particular video. So we're going to jump in here and take a look at Kevin Boston's. Oh, we want to fix that. I don't know why that's all askew. Let's see here. There we go. Slide that over. To look at the tags on a particular video. So in this case, it is Insane Ghost Pepper Challenge. And looking, the first thing that jumps out is I feel like there's not a lot of tags here. You may be limited by this particular topic in terms of what's available for tags, but let's see here. Want to do a, hang on a sec. Did you have a particular question about these tags? I mean, generally speaking, it looks like you're using relevant tags. I wonder what the traffic is. The thing to consider with like a tag like this, you do have the #1 rating. But it doesn't seem to, I think you're basically trying to get that particular keyword phrase ahead of it actually being searched, because Insane Ghost Pepper Challenge is certainly a searchable item out there, 2009 being the edition, of course, that, you know, hasn't really been searched a lot yet. But I am curious to see if we take a look. So, this is an example of doing keyword research using YouTube itself. So we'll do Ghost Pepper Challenge. And for those who see the little numbers next to the keyword phrases, that's actually, I believe it's a plugin called Keywords Anywhere or Everywhere or something to that effect. Let me see what it's actually called here. I think it's Anywhere, but... trying to find the little icon. Keywords Everywhere. But in any case, it shows you the monthly volume on given search topics, so that can kind of guide you. It used to be when you did a search for a particular keyword phrase, YouTube would show you the actual count of results. They seem to have removed that, but you can use Keywords Everywhere to see what kind of search volume a particular keyword phrase is using. So in this case, Ghost Pepper Challenge is obviously a popular search phrase. And generally speaking, it looks like you're targeting some keyword phrases that are relevant to this particular video. I guess the biggest question is, how is this video? You did this video on the 6th. We are now on 10 days in, so I feel like this may be generally a difficult. Let's see what happens here. Ghost Pepper Challenge. I gotta imagine that there's a ton of really big channels doing these types of videos. So I'd be real curious about how much traffic you're still getting. A lot of good Mythical Morning. That's never a good sign when you're trying to rank. Insane Ghost Pepper Challenge. Oh, look at that. There we go. Kevin Boston, Insane Ghost Pepper Challenge. So that's engagement rate 33%. I like how you've composed your challenge, but like if you look at when we talk about thumbnails and trying to get people to click on them, when you're talking about something like a ghost pepper challenge, an insane ghost pepper challenge, you'll notice what the other thumbnails in the search results are focusing on, and that's the emotion. You want an emotional response. So obviously you see in a lot of these thumbnails people struggling with the idea that they just ate an insanely hot pepper, whereas your facial expression seems much more casual about it, like, it's just a pepper. I like the background and everything. I just curious if more of an emotional response in your thumbnail might help you to convert, to get people to click on your particular video a little bit more. And I'm also curious, because obviously I've been to your channel before. Let's see here. Just going to do a real quick incognito search, which you can't see, but I'm just curious. Yeah, so it's coming up number 2 for Insane Ghost Pepper Challenge. So I would assume that would get you some search results, depending on how many people are actually looking for that. Let's see here. Jumping. Let's see. I want to do Inception, looking at the chat while having the chat on the screen. Might suck me into the monitor. All right, here. And okay. Moving on. All right, so the next channel up. Oops, that's not what I want to do. I want to do that. The next channel up is Gearsy, who seems to be kicking some major butt here. I think Gearsy mentioned they had 6,000 subscribers last time they had a channel review, which doesn't feel like it was that long ago. But the thing that I do notice on your channel, and I know we've had this conversation before in general, is that a lot of people get into gaming and they're like, oh, I can't grow, and all they're really doing is doing live streams while they're playing a game, and they're not really adding a ton of value or interest. I started scrolling through your videos, and the first thing that I noticed is how to. And we've talked about how powerful it can be to do how-to content, especially when you're trying to break into gaming, because a lot of people do the same old thing on gaming. And if you want to set yourself apart, actually offering value to people and teaching them how to do something can be super powerful. And look at some of the numbers on these videos. We're talking about a video that was put out 2 weeks ago. And how long has Fortnite been out? It's been out for a long time. People out there probably go, no, I can't do a Fortnite channel because it's oversaturated and I can't grow and blah, 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 blah. And then this is a perfect example of what happens when you actually put some value in a video and teach somebody something about it. Obviously, this is 2 weeks old. It's not the first video on the topic, but yet it has 220,000 views, and Gearsy has gained quite a few thousand subscribers since the last time. Was that 18,000 subscribers or so? 17,000. So there's obviously a ton of opportunity there, and I'm sure these numbers are insane considering where you were before. Look at these. Look at the subscriber jumps here. 13,000 in the last 30 days. Awesome. Congrats on that. And nearly 1 million views in the last month. So ton of opportunity when you actually are delivering value to people and giving them a reason to watch your content above and beyond. Generally, in this case, the consistency of style. There is no individual branding element that I can see, but the way in which the thumbnails are designed is the branding in this case. You can see there's very consistent font use, colors on the font. The background is consistent. Real easy to tell that all these thumbnails come from a single channel. So congrats to Gearsy on some serious growth. That's awesome. Oh, I keep doing that. Let me do that. There we go. And then we'll jump back in the chat. Have a good night, Eva Sophia. All right. And Savage just ran out for an Uber call, so we'll keep you on the list and hopefully be able to bring you back up when you are here. All right. So next channel we're going to take a look at here is, let me make sure I get it on here. Lined up just so. All right, good. So the next channel is Wicked Fabs. Now I had an idea of what I thought it might be, and then looking at the thumbnails, not super sure what the channel's about yet. So let's start here on the about. Driving trucks and hunting bucks is how I roll. Channel about driving trucks, custom modified stock, wild to mild trucks and cars in the show world. Alrighty. So now we have, when I saw Wicked Fabs, I was thinking fabrication. So I was thinking like body shop. And I saw Wicked, that made me think of like Boston. Let's see what we have content-wise. So the one thing I would say about your channel art is I think there's an opportunity there to give some more information and help people consider whether or not they want to subscribe to your channel. Yes, it's a truck, but it doesn't really give people insight into what your channel's about and what kind of content you're making. All right, see what we have here. So the first thing that jumps out with these, I see your consistency using the little bubbles on there, but the font in the bubbles is really small, especially like on a thumbnail like this. Really hard to see what that says. It's going to be even tougher on mobile, and you're probably going to get at least half your audience looking at your stuff on mobile, so you want to make sure that they can do that. And you want to make sure that these little bubbles are actually adding to the desire of somebody to click on them. And in a lot of cases, you know, it's going to be I don't know if that's really going to be the deciding factor that somebody looks at this and says, hey, oh yeah, I'm going to subscribe because I'm really curious what the end of that sentence is. You know, where I can tell by this now, you know, reading the title helps me understand. But there's different ways that you could portray that than the way you have that here that might be a little more engaging to get people to actually watch your content. Yeah, I would just, I mean, there's good strength in the consistency of it, but if you want to use a style like that, I would definitely figure out how to do that with less words. All right. And again, if that's your style, I would maybe try to be consistent with that style and bring that into your channel art in some way, so people kind of, maybe that's the bubble thought channel or something like that, that people come to know that as your content and branding. And then you want to make sure you make playlists as you continue on. Seem to be using that style fairly consistently. We want to make sure that you're also displaying. There's some opportunity here to get some, I don't know, it might be each of your playlists. As you continue to get playlists that have at least 5 videos on them, I try to get them spread out and listed on your channel page here, so people can see more of your content and decide whether or not they want to subscribe for more. Savage Scientist says bubbles and trucks don't go together. It is a slightly different style than you might expect from a truck channel. All right, here. The next channel up is Nicholas Oda. All right, so I get kind of an anime vibe here, but I don't really know what we're talking about or what the content's about. Obviously, I see the illustrations in both the channel art and the icon, but I got to go to the About section to try to figure out what we're looking at. My name is Nicholas Oda. You can call me Nicholas Oda. That's a waste of space right there. You can share your name. I don't know if that's a play on words or if that's your actual name or what that's about, but I'm mainly a live streamer. My plan is 2 live streams a week, maybe a podcast, but both will be game streams. Don't forget to subscribe. So here you kind of not really giving anybody any concrete information about what you're actually giving in terms of value, but then you ask somebody to subscribe to your channel. So you need to identify what your content's about, and you want to list that first. I do 2 live streams per week about whatever you're making content about. And maybe a podcast is not something that you want to include in your description. You either do it or you don't do it. If you're not going to commit to it, I wouldn't bother putting it in the description, because that just makes it sound like you're inconsistent with your content, and that's not going to encourage somebody to want to actually subscribe for more. So if you're not at a position where you can commit to doing a weekly podcast, then I wouldn't even bother mentioning it, and then it just becomes a bonus. So 2019 hype, return of the streams, 4th of July. Way too much space between videos. 6 months, 2 months later, and then 3 months later on content. So you definitely need to focus on making content on a more consistent basis before you start worrying about, ways to actually grow your channel faster. So get in the rhythm of making regular content on your channel. And then once you do that, then you can start to implement some best practices that can help you, convert more people into subscribers and viewers of your channel. You back out there, Savage Scientist? I think I saw you comment. So we're going to jump on your channel and take a look. Here we go. We have the Savage Scientist, Ed the Savage Scientist, Unconventional Science. I have no idea what app hustling means. App hustling, tech, science, and gaming. So I got to check out what that's about. You can make more money in the app-based community. So ride sharing. Is that another name for like? I'm just not familiar with app hustling as a reference to Uber and Lyft or the app-based economy. I think I said community the first time I read that. I would probably be a little more straightforward in that if you're doing content about Uber and Lyft, rather than referring to it as app hustling. I generally know it as like ride sharing. I don't know if that is a reference that other people will be familiar with right out of the gate like that. Tech reviews, don't waste your money. All right. I think there's some opportunity here to kind of clarify what you're actually doing the videos on, and then let's take a look at your actual what you actually got going on here. It looks, I mean, judging by what I see, well, okay, so that threw me for a curve. So when I first come here, looked at your content and looked up what you were doing here with these colors below each of these sections, my immediate thought was, hey, he's going to color code his thumbnails. So where green would be app hustling, blue would be tech, black would be science, and yellow would be gaming. And then we get a red bar down here, and I get all confused. So are we doing it by the Savage Scientist? So is this gaming plays? That looks like what you got going on there. Tech, YouTube Rewind, and a possible solution. I don't know if I would consider YouTube Rewind to be a tech video. Savage Driver, big event driving with customers. Again, with the app hustling. Black science. All right, so I just don't know why you look like you've been pretty consistent here, but for some reason this one you went yellow and red. I don't know if that's a tribute to Castlevania, but it kind of threw off the whole vibe or the you know, the way you were kind of doing all that. Otherwise, that'll work. You're consistent and you're generally including your face where possible. I think there might be more opportunity to do that a little more consistently. But otherwise, people can tell your branding by the way you've structured your thumbnails. And then we want to look at what you got going on the home page. Pause that video. And upload, Savage Vlog, channel updates, and live streams. So what I would consider doing here, let's see, what are your most popular videos? Most popular. So we've got research, DNA results. Okay, those DNA ones always tend to do good. We got tech. So what I would consider doing on your main homepage is try to get some of your more successful videos on display. Like up here, your uploads is obviously your most recent stuff, and your vlogs is also going to be most recent stuff. I'm assuming you're listing that in chronological order, but I would get you some playlists that actually have some of your stronger content. And sort them by most popular, and get some of that here on your channel page so people can take a look at that and understand, you know, what some of that content looks like, and you know, encourage them to subscribe to your channel that way. All right, where are we at here? All right, here. All right, we're closing in. Let's see. I have another channel up here. All right. Next channel up is Sayed Sultan Belly Dance Artist. So we have the channel art up here. The first thing that jumps out on the channel art, it's a very nice image, but I'm a little concerned that the majority of it might be lost on mobile because I feel like it's going to cut off your channel art right in the middle of your face up here. So that's something I would definitely pull it up on mobile and see what that looks like for you. And then about section. Dance artist. Belly dancer. Proper name is Rock Sharky. Oriental dance. All right. And take a look at recent videos. This looks like a channel trailer. One, 4 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week. So one thing I would say, and I don't know if you've done this on recent videos, you generally want to think about getting your content out to people who don't know you. And to do that, you want to focus on topics that people may be interested in and searching for. So I would avoid leading your titles of your videos with your name or your... I don't know if that's a stage name or what that is, but I would try to, if you want to bring people in, there's an opportunity, and I recently did a video about this, about how-to content and how if you're making content about a particular niche, how you can mix in some how-to content to get people who are out on YouTube searching for similar topics to your channel to learn more about you and what you're doing. If you could take some of the knowledge you have on this particular topic and mix in some instructional videos or, you know, 5 things you didn't know about belly dancing or, you know, whatever the case may be, opportunities to kind of touch base on things that people are searching for, then there's real opportunity to bring new people to your channel and help grow your channel. And then you can mix in other videos like some of the ones you have here, and they can get to know you better. But you want to supplement these videos with stuff that people can actually find outside of your channel just by searching the particular topic that you're covering. And I think you have a great opportunity here to do that, to really focus. You have a really focused channel. If you did some educational or how-to or what is type videos that explain some of this stuff, I think there is a good chance that you'll be able to pull in new people to your channel and help your community grow. All right. All right, so we're now at 11 o'clock. I do see a lot of people who came in to the live stream late and were looking for channel reviews. Unfortunately, I can't do every single channel review. I do recommend if you do want to get a channel review that you try to get into the stream as early as possible, so then when we do the call for channel reviews, you can hopefully get in as part of that group. I think we did about 10 or so, somewhere around there tonight. Of other channels, so you can definitely watch the replay and look at some of the stuff that we did on that we covered on their channels, because just because it's not about your channel, a lot of the topics and points that we touch on are the same across all channels. There's a lot of common stuff in there. So I would highly recommend you watch the replay and check that out. If you do want to get your own channel review, you can do that possibly on the next live stream. I also do want to remind everybody a couple things. One is, see if that go. There is an opportunity to register to win a one-on-one consultation with me, where we would set up a video call and go over your channel and the goals that you have for your channel, and work one-on-one through that video chat to come up with a plan and a strategy to help you get where you want to go. I just threw a link to that in the chat. It's free to register. It signs you up for the Creator Fundamentals mailing list. I usually send out one email a week that just gives you an update on the latest videos out from the channel and any other news. But what I'm going to do is each month I'm going to select one person from that list to be the winner, and they're going to get a 30-minute call for free, one-on-one, where we can go and answer any questions that you have and look at your channel and try to come up with a strategy and what you can work on to help move your channel forward. So definitely hit that link, sign up for the list, and you may get something even better than a channel review, which is some dedicated time to helping your channel grow specifically. So otherwise, every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, you do want to get here early, or at the very least, you want to be here before we start making that list, because it's just, unfortunately, I can't get to everybody, and coming in after we finish the list and trying to get a channel review is probably not going to work out the way you want it to. So, but you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me once again, especially everybody who was in here super early before the live stream started, hung out with us for the entire night. You guys rock. As I mentioned, January 30th, we're going to have some live streams between now and then, but January 30th, I'm going to be hosting the TubeBuddy live stream on the TubeBuddy YouTube channel, so I definitely hope to see all of you there. Yeah, I think we had another successful evening. You know, congrats on all your successes. I will see you guys next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Have a good night.